Welcome back to the Fryerning XL Carp monthly blog. Now, you join us on a very crisp, rather cold late January day. We were going to film this section over in the Point Swim, an area which has been the site of some amazing action of late, but the northerly wind is like razor blades today, so we've retreated to the splendour of the Royal Box on the back of the wind to present this to you guys. So it's been a very eventful month, despite it being the depths of winter. You might recall that on the end of the last blog we did, I mentioned that the Nun could possibly go £50 this year. It's been creeping up that way. It's one of the most famous and recognisable of the Fryerning 18 residents. Well, lo and behold, just a few days after the blog finished filming, Carl Baxter, long-time member down here, banked the Nun at no less than £51. Now, that is a remarkable result for the depths of winter, a new 50 for Fryerning, and is testament to the amazing environment, and these weights just keep on going, because the Nun is again, as I said, one of the recognisable 18 fish that's been around for a long time in this lake. I've been fortunate enough to meet her on a couple of occasions. The first time a fair few years ago at £40 an ounce, then a couple of springs ago at £47. So now she's £51 and a new 50 for the lake. So massive well done to Carl on that. That's a major result any time of year, and I don't think there's many lakes around that can say they produced a 50-pounder in January this year. The Fryerning has actually produced two, which I'll come to in a moment. The most notable catch of the month fell to the rods of Keith Mann, who caught the jewel in the crown really, the mighty Germ, at over 55 pounds, making it two 50s in freezing cold weather. And as I've said before, Fryerning has long had amazing winter form, and to do a 51 and a 55 in January, there's not many lakes around that can hold a candle to that. The Germ is on the grow. Again, like all the fish in here, she's growing and growing, and to be that weight now means that she may well breach and eclipse her previous best weight of 57 pounds. She hasn't got to go very much at all, so in the spring she's going to be very close to 60 pounds, we think, and if she doesn't do it this spring, this autumn she could well be there, which would be a magical achievement for the guys at Fryerning and everything they put into the lake. So well done to Keith Mann, the man of the moment, excuse the pun. An amazing result. Top work, fella. One of my favourite looking fish in the lake, probably everybody else's too, the Pretty One, came out to the rods of Dan Crow at a weight of 39 pounds 9 ounces. Not only was that a PB for Dan, great angling fellow, that's an amazing looking fish, but this carp looks very set to be another 40-pound carp to add to the growing list of massive fish down at Fryerning. There are 16 known different 40-pound carp in this lake and 5 different 50s at the right time of year. Absolutely remarkable. Another notable fish to come out in January fell to the rods of long-term member Scott Clark. Scott goes around catching quite a few fish out of this lake, does quite well, and off the mark in good style for January with a 27-pound mirror, a fish which is unknown and one that's going to come through and go on to great things. It looks like a mini XL Pex, a truly amazing looking carp, XL Pexes, and this fish we're sure will go on to do great things. Well done, Scott, for getting off the mark there. So the lakes have been pretty quiet this January, which may be down to a post-Christmas hangover. Angler footfall, again, very marginal, but look at the fish that have been coming out, 2 50-pounders, absolutely remarkable. The Car Park Lake has been producing fish as well, which we'll come on to shortly. But one thing that's worth mentioning is, you know, with these long dark nights, if you go into a fishery and you think there aren't going to be other anglers around, you know, some people don't like that because you worry about security maybe, but not here at Fryerning. You come down to one of the most exclusive, secure fisheries in the country. Once those gates close behind you, you can fish in complete isolation, knowing that you and your equipment are totally safe while you pursue these amazing carp. So I've just been to the Brentwood show over the weekend. Probably quite a few of you local guys watching this blog have been there as well. And I get approached a lot by people asking, not just about the fish and the fishing down at Fryerning, but I've got a couple of questions, like I usually do, about the crayfish. Now, the crayfish situation at Fryerning used to be very, not famous, infamous, because there was a fearsome body of crayfish in these lakes, and let's make no bones about it, it made the fishing very challenging at times. And the management took it upon themselves in answer to requests from the anglers, and to move their fishery forward, the management took on a program of eradicating the crays, probably a couple of years ago now, Now, I can't stress this enough. This eradication has been 100% successful on all 3 lakes on the site. Now, eradicating anything with 100% effect is difficult in nature, but in conjunction with the EA, the guys that harnessed a pathogen, a waterborne pathogen, which affected only the crayfish. They thinned out the crayfish beforehand because there were so many, you could have an enormous amount of rotting biomass. So they thinned them out beforehand, introduced the virus, killed what was left, and believe me, there are no crayfish at Fryerning. So if that's anything that is on your radar that might be inhibiting you coming down and inquiring on a membership, trust me, there's no craze at all. A place that I often venture down to when it's freezing cold in January and February is the Car Park Lake. Really reliable for winter action, and true to form, it's been producing good numbers of fish this month. There was a hit of 6 fish and lots of others out, even when there's been ice in the margins. So if you want to get down and catch yourself an ice carp or a snow carp and get that ticked off the list, then the car park is the place to do it. And with fish up to 25 pounds, they're not that small either. A great place to come down and tweak your rigs and your bait and get everything nice and confident before you come onto the main lake, because the car park fish are Fryerning strain fish, you know, they're all the same fish, they're just in different lakes. So you get something working really well for yourself on the car park lake, it'll work here as well. Now, with few anglers about, the management team is busy as ever, and it's one thing that, you know, when I've been coming down here for years and years now, and whenever you turn up randomly, you know, obviously within the hours, but on any day of the week, you will find these guys working. It's almost like you go down to, every day you come down, there's trimming, strimming, coppicing, swim maintenance going on, and these guys never stop working, and you see that as soon as you step onto the site. And the new members and the existing members will be seeing the full benefit of all that work in 2019. The ongoing fishery management and reducing biomass of other species has also been seen this month with the roach. I mean, it's healthy for any fishery, obviously, to have silverfish in, but the management is very aware that too many mouths mean that not enough of the bait will get through to the carp. So they have done some netting programs. In one net sweep, they got 1/2 ton of roach removed. They've been sold to a fishery, rehomed, and 3/4 of a ton in another sweep. So very good proactive management, less mouths to feed. These carp are going to keep on getting bigger and bigger. The spring is most definitely on its way. The snowdrops are out already, and I would think within 2 or 3 weeks we'll be seeing daffodils as well. So nature is responding with gusto. The birds are already, even though the weather's cold, they're responding to these increased daylight levels. We're getting lighter mornings, lighter evenings already, even in late January. So that's going to change quickly, and these fish are going to wake up very fast. So don't wait till you see them all over Facebook. Get down and bag one for yourself now. If you want to be part of the syndicate down here at Fryerning, which obviously I highly recommend because there's no place quite like it, then I recommend you find the contact details on the website, give Chris or Charlie a call and arrange a visit. Tickets are very desirable. Arrange a visit, come down and see if you fit, because this really is a gentleman's club. You know, the guys here are like one big like-minded family. It's one of those syndicates that just gels. Like-minded people with a common bond of gentleman spirit and a common goal of chasing these amazing fish. So that rounds things up for this month's monthly blog. I look forward to seeing you next time where, well, it'll be the end of February. I'm sure, given the winter form that these lakes have, I'll have some monster fish to show you, unseen footage, exclusive news from Fryerning. Look forward to seeing you then.